saying that it will
It only picked up 33 seconds and it told me that there's no views and it ended 3 minutes ago because there's a delay from when you do it to when it actually goes live.
well, I didn't put it on Facebook till 5:30,
Okay.
but it should be coming back now.
I got your text message and I'm pulling it back up.
Hey y'all, it's Mama Mystic. We're going to chat about something fascinating today. Did you know that there is a whole syndrome about feeling crappy? Well, if you check out my Substack, you can get all the references and citations to make your little heart's content. Hmm, but I'm going to share it with you. Here we go. Did you lose me? No. Okay. So we've all seen the zombies, right? Every one of us. That that one at midnight that's too busy to wait, too well to need a bed. But there's some justification in when folks come in and they are impatient and a little bit mean and snippy. Come to find out, there's actually a syndrome, feeling like crap syndrome. How about them apples? Well, Granny always told us about them apples, actually. So, if we want to talk about just what in the heck is feeling like crap syndrome, it has some really common and prevalent symptoms: constant fatigue, joint pain, bloating, all the IBS symptoms you can reel back in your head, allergies, sinus congestion and gunk, brain fog, that nagging headache you just can't get rid of. A lot of times we blame it on caffeine, but sometimes it's feeling like crap syndrome. Well, there's also skin issues and low libido. Now, in all my years of being pregnant, I felt like I was pregnant for more than a decade. Actually, I think I probably was. Anyway, um, my grandmother used to say, "Your hormones are raging. You have to eat to calm them down." Well, I thought she had lost her mind. Like, I just did not want to hear that at that point in my life. Turns out she was right. Girls, listen to me. After going from way too many hormones most of my life to none at all during menopause, there's got to be a better way. So I did some research. Turns out some of the foods that just destroy your hormones and give you all these symptoms we talked about up here at the top: gluten and dairy, modern wheat, has just stuff in it that destroys your gut. Now, my Southern doesn't wrap around all those words that well, so you're more than welcome to go to the Substack and read all of the long words that are hard to pronounce, but that is not for us here. That's why it's on Substack. The link is in the barcode. I'll put it up in just a second when we get through with this article. The good news is, and I know I love some of these things too, but they are just terrible for us all. So, all sugars, white brown honey, and agave, every one of them causes inflammation. Starchy, even if it says gluten free, I'm telling y'all, if that label in the grocery store says it's good for you, you better think twice. Like Grandma said, Granny, if you ain't knocking the dirt or the hide off of it, you ought to think twice about eating it. And that's the truth. But it just really chaps my tail that they are allowed to label all these things in all the pretty colors, and I love all the pretty colors, but it's just it's just better to stay away from it. Like, go get you something out of the produce section, fix you something, or go somewhere where somebody that you know cooks and they use good ingredients. It makes a huge difference. Sugary drinks, that means anything that fizzes when you crack the lid and it's got a calorie at all in it. And the ones that are 0 calories have things that are worse than sugars. Sugars tear your body up in your gut, but the things that they put in diet stuff tears your brain up. We'll get to that another day. And alcohol, yes, honey, alcohol too. That is true. I have not been healthier since I quit drinking over a year ago. Not that I refuse to drink, I just don't want to. The good news is you can flip your switch. Now, I know you're going to say, well, Missy, there's all kinds of evidence that says that our health and wellness is driven by our genes. That's true. But just like when you get in your vehicle and it has a cruise control, you can either choose to remain in control and drive your own car, or you can set the cruise control on and let the car do what it wants. Well, your DNA does write your genetic code, and it is heavy handed in the way you develop and grow as an adult human. But you can turn your health genes on and off. And in the same way, you can turn your disease genes on and off. Now, the dirty little nasty secret, the elephant in the room, whatever metaphor you want to use, that nobody wants us to know is that all of the things, not all, most of the things that preserve food on the shelf so that it doesn't rot causes your body to be inflamed. It's just like the bee stings you when you're at the park or on the beach on in summertime when you get stung by a jellyfish or whatever, your skin swells up. Well, when your foreign substances that don't belong in your body enter it, then your body reacts. It's called a healthy immune system. So when we're constantly feeding our gut with all this food that doesn't rot, your body's reacting to that. So the way to flip the switch is to get out of the super processed line at the grocery store and go to the farmer's market and get some fresh vegetables. Now, it's better if you can grow it yourself, but like I get it. We live on the road, and even though I have tried and I have friends, Danielle, you have my utmost respect, that can grow plants. I like plants that want sunshine, and I'm just not good at growing plants on the road. But I can go to the nurseries and I can go to the farmer's market and I can find the best places all over and I can come back and tell you about it. So let's get down to what we're shopping for here when we're flipping our switch. We want green leafy vegetables. And you just think of this dark green as the royalty vegetable because it is filled with jewels and treasures for your body. And when you slip it in there, it's better than putting a diamond ring on your hand. Yeah, I know all you girls got some lately. I have seen the Facebook pictures. I know you all said yes. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. The next thing we can do to flip our switch is be kind and continue to stoke the fire in your mitochondria. Now, we all remember from elementary science that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It is the engine for your energy. It is the one thing that has to work for you to live. Well, there's a bunch of things, but in a cellular level, the cell will die without a mitochondria because it just can't power itself or it'll float and then it'll just wither, especially if it has a job to do. Now, there are some transport cells that have other things in it, but if you have questions about that, we're high level, just general talking here. So, your mitochondria is the engine of your energy. And when they're poisoned with sugar, they get all sticky and gunky. You know, when you spill sugar on the counter in your kitchen, like you spilled the Coke or drip some honey on the counter, you know how sticky it is when you touch it? That's what happens to the sugar when it gets in your body too. And I know all my work family out there, we all just dread having to put an IV and get blood out of somebody who's in a diabetic crisis. Why is that? Because as soon as you take it out of the vein and put it in a vial, it clots because it's so sweet. It reacts as soon as it comes out of your body. Actually, it reacts before it leaves your body. So if we're taking care of people in any setting and we're not asking them what they eat, what their sugars have been running, and what they're drinking, we're not doing a very good assessment. We're certainly not doing much of a history. So, how do we flip this switch? And I'm not a fan of pills. And I had to do some research, and there are conflicting opinions. But one of the things that can help reverse the inflammation is methylene blue. Now, I know we've all taken care of rotor-rooter patients that have had the TURP, and if you've had one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've taken care of one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We won't go into details here. Um, but you take low doses of methylene blue, take them in the morning or when you wake up. Now, those of us who work shift work, it is hard to, oh, I'm so sorry. I told you we're on the road. It is so hard to really control what morning is to you when you work shift work and what nighttime is. Because when you stay up all night and sleep all day, your whole rhythm gets off. So we have a whole sleep challenge going on, and y'all, when I put the QR code up, you'll be able to hit that link. And for everybody who couldn't get in the link when we sent it out earlier this week, if it's on Facebook or one of the social media platforms, sometimes you have to take a screenshot. And then when you open the picture in your camera and hit the QR code, it will take you to the site. The reason we like that QR code is it has all of our tools, it is the whole toolbox. So none of us have time to go hunting shit in every window on every page, and I just need it to all be in one place, please. So this is our digital med cart for actual interventions that work. Now we will be growing those resources. So those of you who have tools that you would like digitized, you need to shoot me an email. Mystic at mamamysticsroadshow.com. Do not forget to attach whatever you want me to digitize, by the way. And we will put it in a format that's downloadable and usable. I've got some stuff already from everybody, and that'll be a project over time. But I want you to know that that option is available. There's a 7-day sleep challenge that I just put up today. We're going to get to that in a minute, but that is going to be something that's going to help tons of people, myself included. So we're going to, I'm taking methylene blue. I feel better when I take it. I don't take much. I take 4 milligrams, but it helps with the menopause clarity. The brain fog goes away and all that. I can tell when I don't take it. Now, you're not going to take it for a long time. You're supposed to cycle on 20, 28 or 8 weeks and then cycle off for 28 days. So, and I take the capsule. It's not as potent as the liquid, and I don't want to have to wash my mouth out and walk around with a blue mouth all the time. So I've got a link there with some. I found it on Amazon. Now I had to get some off the shelf recently, and one of the only places in the entire state of Washington I could find it was Wenatchee. But when we went up there and I got to see one of our work family's new baby boys, he's so cute. He's so cute. And I'm so proud of Emily and Sam. They're doing such a good job. So back to methylene blue. We went up there to see what they had on the shelf because sometimes getting things shipped when you are mobile or you live a nomadic lifestyle is a little difficult. So we went up there to get one off the shelf. And the name of the store is Wenatchee Natural Foods. And it reminded me so much of Eureka Natural Foods. Now, when we were down in California, Eureka Natural Foods, they had one in Eureka and they had one in one of the little towns right there next to Eureka. Anyway, there was a few of them around there. But they had the most just the best meat market. They had a whole dry goods section, and I can make my salad glitter. And those of you who have worked with me have seen my salad glitter. It is made for menopause symptoms. It has chia seeds in it, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. I believe that might be it. Almonds sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling. I'll put almonds in it occasionally, but it's great as a salad topper. So when we're wanting to flip this switch and really get our inside our body to cooperate with how the rest of the universe is working for us at the time, it's going to require a little bit of effort. 10 days worth. There's a 10-day reset. It's a practical detox. So we're not asking you to like go on an elimination diet or anything. Now, I've done that, and that is one special kind of hell. But this is just a simple 10-day routine. Not a whole bunch of recipes you need to follow, but no gluten, no dairy, no sugar, no processed food. And you can do it. It's just going to take a little effort. I mean, we make the minestrone from scratch. We don't make our own bone broth. We do buy the bone broth. But those of you who've gotten the recipe from me, it makes a difference. And we get organic beans that are grown locally and soak them for 3 days, the whole nine, just like grandma used to do it. And no booze for 10 days. Like, get a project, build a boat, plant a garden, like something. 10 days you can do without booze. Like, I used to not think so, but now that I know how much healthier I am not having alcohol, oh my God. I mean, it's just night and day. It was never worth it. But I don't know, maybe sometimes it's worth it. But it would take a lot to convince me now. Like, we would need to have a reunion for everybody, I think, somewhere, and then I might have a drink. So, yes to veggies, all the veggies. The more colors, the better, especially guava and kiwi. Lean proteins. I have gotten to where I like lamb, and it does best with my system. Um, and olive oil. I eat olives by the gallon. One of my favorite places in California is the Olive Pit. Mm. Hmm. I'll have to share that with you one day. There's it's just olives everywhere, and it's this like whole big old building and nothing but olives in any way you could imagine them, and they are the best olives. Anyway, it's just south of Redding, on I believe that's I-5. It's worth a stop. Cornell, I think maybe Cornwall. Somebody will correct me. Luann, I'm sure. Um. Anyway, then you've got to do a little pre work. You need to drink your water and increase your volume in your stomach before you eat so that when you drop food into your stomach, there's water in there so it can mix it and start the digestive process. Then that means you have to chew well too. That's something I struggle with. And if anybody who's had gastric bypass or any kind of gastric bariatric surgery, you know, if you can't chew your food up, you are just set to be miserable for the next 24, 48 hours. So those are some of the extra things we deal with. So I would encourage all of you young folks who've not had to go to those kind of drastic measures yet to get ahead of this so you don't have to. Use clean oils. Don't no reused frying oils. And you want your oil to come from something like coconut, avocado. You don't want seed oils. It's okay to eat seeds, but Mother Nature does not want us to corrupt the seeding process of anything. It's very toxic to humans. However, it does preserve food and it's cheap. So people who are doing things at scale tend to gravitate towards those things because it's easier and cheaper, and then you can have a profit, and that's what business is about. So you really have to watch places that fry things, especially when you eat out, because you don't know what kind of oil it's cooked in. So that's really important. And then, of course, the drops, mineral drops. If your if your nails are like cracking or they get wavy, where's my drops at? Here they are. These are the best thing. And you can find them through the QR code at Mama Mystic's Dispensary, Supplement Dispensary, for all you people who thought it was otherwise. So, moving on to metabolism is not just genetics either. It's actually the operating system of your body. So, if you think about metabolism, you have all of this structure in your body. You've got bones, you've got muscles that move your bones, you're putting food and water in, so you've got all your GI tract and your blood vessels who are like breaking that stuff down, sorting it out, sending it out to the places that it needs to go. And your circulatory system is kind of like the transport hub. Like it's like looking at a map about how to get from Los Angeles to New York. There are roads, there are blood vessels that take shit places. So if you think about your metabolism, it's really kind of like all of those things, except it's air traffic control. It has the oversight and it's making all these things happen at once. And there's a lot of trigger actions that happen in the metabolic systems. So these are really opportunistic understandings that we have of this these days. Because what that means, because your metabolism is driven by the food that you eat and how much of it you use, that's activity and nourishment. Both two parts of INAMS. And I'm asking you to invest some attention into these very fundamental things and change or flip your switch so that you don't have the feeling crappy syndrome all the time and you can live life to its fullest, because to know you got to go, in order to go you got to feel worth the shit. So you have to eat mindfully and move intentionally. If you put something in your mouth, you need to be doing something afterwards. Now I know we're busy and I don't always get to do it, but I'm working on it and I'm tracking it. So I'm trying not to let myself slide, and I'm trying to do better about mindful eating too, and making sure that I'm eating enough protein, enough vegetables in the right time frames. And I know we were all taught at some point that like 40 grams of protein was enough, but it's not. It's weight based too. You know, all the really important meds are weight based. Your protein intake is weight based too. And you really should use one of the tools available online. I can find some for you. If you want to give me a call, we can walk through it. The I weigh 238 pounds and I need 174 grams of protein for my body weight. That's a lot of protein, especially when you're working with a stomach that's like the size of a walnut. So we've got to eat mindfully and we've got to move with intention. And then we need to cycle feasting and fasting. Now, I have worked with some of you guys over the years, and some of y'all were so dead on about fasting. I love to listen to Dr. Mindy Peltz, and one of my best friends in the entire universe in Southern Louisiana sent me a picture of Dr. Peltz's book she was reading. And she was like, this stuff sounds really simple, but like it works. Why hadn't we thought to do this earlier? And truth is, Granny told us to do it. She said, you are what you eat. You need to be careful with what you put in your body. I can't tell you how many times she told me if you would quit eating junk, your face wouldn't break out. And she was right. So, feast and fast in cycles. Do what works for you, boo boo. Like, I know people who are grumpy if they don't eat before they go to work for a long shift. There are people who can't go to bed without eating. Now, the not going to bed without eating, you need to be upright for a couple of hours just to let gravity do her job and let your body metabolize what you put in your system. And y'all know I have very strong feelings about gravity. She's one of the hardest working heifers I've ever known. She always works. I've never been to the moon or in outer space, but if Elon figures that shit out, I'd love to go to Mars. However, for today, gravity works always. So if you're going to eat before you go to bed, stay up a couple of hours and let it digest. And make sure you got plenty of water in your stomach and follow it with some water, and that way it can get gone and on to do its thing. Some other really good things you can do to flip your metabolic switch: green tea, tomato juice, and cold therapy, cold exposure, cold plunges. And I'm going to tell you, I've told y'all before, I love getting in those glacial rivers and panning and things like that when we get to go up in the mountains. Oh, that is the best time, the absolute best time. Couple of other things, and you don't want to overdo these things. We already talked about methylene blue, but Ozempic, if you are morbidly obese, Ozempic at low doses, but you got to be real careful with that. It is doing something your body's supposed to do anyway, but I've seen some really bad side effects, and a lot of it's dose related. So talk to your primary care doctor, talk to whoever puts you on it, but really understand the dosing and the timing of it so that you can get the most out of it. And then of course, just like the supplements we take, you want to try to get off of it as soon as you can. Use it as a bridge to get where you want to be. And then adaptogens really help with your nervous system and the calming the anxiety for those who are having anxious reactions. A lot of us have PTSD, a lot of us have mental health issues, and the adaptogens really just help settle all that down. It's like putting a piece of rubber over all the things that just try to reach out and slap you in the face when you least expect it. So I've got a link on the Substack for that stuff too, but you can also get it on QR code, and I am going to get that up. Let's see. Hmm. Let's see. Uh, Maybe it's at the end of this article. All right. So if we come back up to our article, the other thing we forget is that mindset is the real multivitamin. Like, name your fear and just go. Walk right through it. I'm scared to death of heights, and I will walk up that or drive up that mountain, ride up that mountain, whatever the case may be. Because if you focus on the action and not the excuses, the rewards are just out of this universe. And joy is a skill, and you have to train it every fucking day, every day. Hard times, they come, they go. You got to get up and go through them. And they eventually end, and the good times will come back. And then what we really want, one of my aunts used to tell me all the time, is that up and down roller coaster is just not healthy. You want that nice steady wave that ripples across the lake. You want that little bitty rhythm there, not the extreme one. So then if we think of our overall health, as freedom and strength, well, I don't care what your preferences are, but those things are sexy. You want to get out and live your life, whether it's playing with grandbabies. You don't want to sit on life's sideline. You just miss too much. Carry your own groceries, do your own shit, look like a badass bitch doing it, and know you can because you're strong enough and you're healthy enough. I wish that for all of you. I really do. Strength is the answer. So we've got a link to our survival tools there too. And it's not how to survive in the wilderness, it's how to survive in life. Because most of the people I know aren't going to find themselves in the wilderness, but they are going to find themselves absolutely in the hellfires of life and they need some help. So you're too long, didn't read, you deserve to feel amazing. You really do. You're not lazy, you're inflamed. You're not broken, you're burned out. And we can build you back stronger, brighter, and clearer than ever. So here's your ticket to ride. And all of the research that backs this up. And if you join our Substack, one of the things we're going to do, because we are promoting understanding AI and using AI, we're going to put a podcast with AI, two AI bots who are going to argue the science versus what society says about it and what's actually being practiced. We're going to have that podcast up on the Substack site. So you see for your own eyes and ears and thoughts and however you want to process it in your head, the actual evidence that's scientific, what I think about it. Now we're going to see what AI thinks about it. All right, girls and gals. Now, today I'm going to try to sign off. Oh, I haven't shown you the. I haven't shown you the QR code. This is our Substack. You don't want to be a zombie. Please don't be a zombie. Hmm. Okay. It is on the Facebook page. At the very top on the banner, it's on the Facebook page. Find it there. You will have to take a screenshot of it, but I'll have it up on the Substack site very shortly. So I'm going to try to sign off without ripping it off of YouTube this time, but I will see y'all again and we'll put an event on Facebook and Instagram to make sure that we let everybody know when we're going to go live. Thank you for joining us.